Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm the Upskin Joe PT, and for today what we have in here is the AntiGraviator. So AntiGraviator, it is a game developed by a new indie studio which is called Cybernetic Horrors. So this is their first game, it's their first experience, I guess, and they are using Unity 5. So I'm very surprised because this type of racing games from the future, this was completely something in the 90s. You did get Wipeout at the time and many other racing games like this, and now we are seeing a very big comeback of this genre in the actual days thanks to the indie developers. So this is great. There are multiple games like this using Unreal Engine 4, but right now ours decided to go with Unity 5, and as far as I'm aware, I think they actually earned some prizes because on the Unity engine, because I think they really done a great job. So, but what about the settings that I'm going to use for this video? Yeah, you are seeing that 900p, right? Yes, that's my personal preference. I prefer to play this game with 900p and customize a little bit the settings. For example, I disable the soft particles, I reduced the shadows from soft to only hard shadows, and I reduced the shadow distance to 400. There is no big difference in the graphical settings. Also, there are some extra graphical settings that I didn't show to you on the video. If you go to the camera, you can mess around with motion blur, you can disable ambient occlusion, bloom, or a chromatic aberration. So yeah, there are more options than I did actually shown in this video, so I'm very sorry. So for this video and benchmarking, I decided to benchmark two different tracks. I started with the Nevermell Pass, I said, and Michael's Bay, because I think the name is interesting, so I was expecting some lens flare and a lot of effects. Okay, and so for the Nevermell Pass, with the maximum settings, I got an average of 49 and the 1% of 41. So this is a very good result, but if you reduce the game to the fastest presets, you get an average of 59 and the 1% of 48. So yes, very playable, both of the settings, but like I said, I prefer myself to play at 900p with a little bit of customization on the settings, which I decided to call it custom median, and by using these settings I was able to get an experience above 60 frames per second on the Nevermell's Pass. Okay, because I prefer to have above 60 frames per second in this game, because this is a very fast-paced game, and you will see it, okay? So on the Michael's Bay, the performance was pretty much the same. There is a small difference of one more frame or one less frame. There are multiple other tracks in the game, most of them are more lightweight, so they are not more demanding. Although I found a track which I feel a little bit sorry for not testing it, but I didn't have too much time to spare, and that track was a little bit more demanding than the others, but I think it was more or less CPU fault. Okay, so yeah, if you have a better CPU, you might get better results. Okay, so yeah, let's start this. So we are about to start with the Nevermell. Let's just select 2 laps because I don't want to extend it a lot. Okay, so but like I was telling you, this is 900p, shadows reduced from hard and soft to only hard, no soft particles, the shadow distance set to 400, and still I think this is pretty good. And as you can see, I'm getting an experience above 60 frames per second. Yeah, there was a small drop in there, but you need to take in consideration that I'm recording with AMD Radeon Relive, so there is always some dropped frames. And yeah, this is the reason why I need it. I need above 60 frames per second because this is a very fast game. Although, to be honest, if you play the game with the maximum settings, 1080p, and still get that 1% of 40 frames per second, or an average of 50, the game is still very playable, and I'm pretty sure you will be playing better than me, because despite I find this type of games fascinating, to be honest, I'm not really good with them. Okay, so enough about the performance. Now let's talk a little bit about the game itself. And well, I'm not really good with it, so I'm going to skip this thing, and I will talk a little bit how you can get it. So you can get this game from Steam of around 20 euros or 20 bucks. I'm not really sure what are the price for the dollars. Although if you want to get the game a little bit more cheaper, you can get it from Kinguin. I have a link on the description for both Steam and Kinguin, so you could get quicker access to the page of both shops, okay? But Kinguin supposedly should be more cheaper, at least should be most of the time, okay? In case you are interested on the game. So I think that's all that I want to talk about AntiGraviator. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video. There is still one more track for you to check it out, and I do hope to see you soon. Thank you a lot for watching. Goodbye.
Get ready. 3, 2,